get a phone book.
I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Villa Park Village Board. Today is March 26th at 7 p.m. Clerk Konecki, please call the roll.
Trustee Aiello. Trustee Kazone.
Here.
Trustee Case.
Here.
Trustee Tucker.
Here.
Trustee Wagner.
Here.
Trustee Silella.
Here.
President Bolfus.
Here. So I'll rise for the pledge, and after the pledge, please remain standing for a short prayer. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner has a prayer for us.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Well, tonight we have Director Jaskelis standing in for Manager Keener, and it's kind of appropriate that he's here tonight because almost everything on our agenda has to do with his department. So we'll put him through his paces. So, Clerk Konecki, do we have any public comments on agenda items?
Yes, we do. Angie Rojek would like to address the item.
Good evening. I'm Angie Rojek. I own Pioneer Garden and Feed. I'm here to talk about the parking that you guys are going to vote on tonight. I want to thank you again for putting it on the agenda and kind of moving things forward. I especially want to thank Police Chief Lay for coming out and kind of helping us through it and figure out what would work for us. So I just had a couple of questions that I hope you guys can discuss a little bit before you vote. The first thing I wanted to find out about is where signs will go. I know part of the parking plan is to get people to park on the new spots on Park Avenue. So I just want to find out where signage is going to go to guide people to that area since nobody's still using it. And then before we've been told to use overflow parking by the old post office, which probably most of you know it's been sold, and now they do have no parking signs up in the parking lot, so nobody can use it anymore. And I wanted to find out what will happen then for summer events, the concerts in the park, the movies in the park. They were using that parking lot. Village employees would stand out there and guide people there, and now I don't know where they're going to go. And then I wanted to find out how the restrictions on Villa will be enforced. I didn't know if it was something that the police will check regularly, or if we'll have to call, or if we do have to call, who we call, just to find out how that's going to work. And then also to say that the business owners are grateful that you're doing this, but it's not a permanent solution, and I just want to make sure that the board is continuing to find out if there's other parking lots available, other land available to find out, just solve some of the issues. So thank you.
Let me ask you a question. The ordinance itself,
Yes.
I think, is fine.
Correct.
The questions you have about parking and directional park where people should go, I think
Correct.
it might be best if you talk to the police chief about
Sure.
that in the manager's office, because I don't know if we up here would be able to answer those questions right now.
Okay.
And so, we do know about the parking issues over there, and we're continuing trying to figure out what we can do to alleviate that. So
Okay.
if that's okay with you, to do it
Sure.
that way.
My main concern at this point is the whole post office,
Yeah.
because that's a lot of spots.
Yeah.
So,
But if you want to work with the chief and the
I can talk to
manager's office, I think that would probably work out best.
okay, thank
Because
you.
I don't think we'd have an answer for you tonight. Okay. Anyone else?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Move down to item number 4, amendments to the agenda. Does anyone from the board have an amendment to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move down to the consent agenda. Consent agenda, minutes from the board meeting of March 12, 2018, minutes from the budget workshop meeting March 19, 2018, bill listing for the week of March 12th and March 19th, 2018, for the total amount of $869,371.31. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda? Trustee Case?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Cielo? Do we have any questions or comments? No. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Well, item number 6 is the second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, modifying parking restrictions in the Villa Business District. Seeing that this is the second reading, if it's okay with the board, if we skip the synopsis and just go to a vote? Any objections? Okay. Can I have a motion for the second reading?
I'd like to make that motion.
Trustee Wagner, second. Do we have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make the second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 7, second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing changes to the North Ardmore streetscape parking. And same thing, this is a second reading and nothing has changed. It's okay with the board, we'll just go on to a motion. Is that okay? Yeah.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second that motion.
Any questions or comments?
I had one question.
Sure.
I had asked previously if moving handicap parking from the further north area closer to the tracks was an option, and we were going to look at that to see if that could be done, although I was told at that time that the handicap spots that are available now were more intended for the businesses. Is that still going to be the case, or did we come up with an alternative?
That's still the case. Go ahead.
If you look at the aerial photograph, that spot at the north end is actually wider. It's physically wider, so it's specifically designed as the handicap spot. That's why it's located there, because of the physical requirements.
Okay.
So if we were going to move it, we would have to widen one of the other spots.
So it'll stay status quo?
Yes.
No.
Any other questions? Okay, with that, roll call, please.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item number 8, second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, restricting parking during school days on the north side of East Harrison Street between Myrtle and Villa Avenue. And the same thing, the second reading, nothing has changed here, so if it's okay with the board, we'll just move on.
I do have a question.
Okay, we'll have a motion first then.
Okay.
Trustee Wagner.
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Cielo, second. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, my question is that we have that restricted parking, have we got some guidelines on how we're gonna enforce it from 7 to 4? I mean, they didn't have any marking on there. Is there something they're gonna do to mark this to facilitate the police a little better on this that we're
We
doing?
work with the school district to have proper signage and which vehicles will be allowed and not allowed during that time.
Is that the same for the street too?
Pardon me?
There's street parking too. That doesn't include this street parking along?
No, this is just for the.
Just that one section, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Trustee Wagner?
With regards to the construction of this parking area, will we be supervising District 48's construction?
Trustee.
We kind of have some overview of what they're, to make sure that it's up to village standards?
Director Gonzalez.
They would be issued a right-of-way permit because the work is in our right-of-way. So as part of the right-of-way permit, they would have to meet our standards and pass a final inspection.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item number 9, ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a variation to allow the construction of a new single-family structure in the required yard setback at 451 North Addison Road. Do I have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Wagner,
I'd like to make that motion.
do we have a second? Trustee Tucker? Any questions or comments?
Did we resolve the issue of the neighbor on the north side? Wasn't he the one that had an issue at,
Patrick Grills coming to the mic.
It was the neighbor to the south, and yes, that got resolved.
okay, so we did resolve the neighbor to the south's issue of the driveway or whatever it was?
Correct, yes.
Part, okay.
Anything else? Roll call vote, please.
Okay, trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Item 10, ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing sale by public auction personal property and seized vehicles owned by the Village of Villa Park. Director is just Gallus. I knew you were waiting.
Proceeds from the sale of the vehicles will be placed into the Equipment Replacement Fund and will be used to purchase additional equipment. There are 2 village vehicles and 5 seized vehicles listed here for the auction.
Okay. And do you know when that auction's going to happen?
I believe Director Gola would have that information.
Well, he's coming up. Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that motion.
Second, Trustee Sala. Okay. Question is, when is the auction going to start?
The staff submits that to Open Up Auctions, and then they post it. So I don't have a specific date as of right now.
Generally about 4 days after you submit it.
It's usually, actually, they're going through all the cars right now, making sure they start, and then once it gets approved by the board, then once they're done, they'll submit everything when they're ready to go. And then, it's usually a week and a half after the approval.
Good. Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 11, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing a contract with Chicagoland Paving Contractors, Inc. of Lake Zurich, Illinois, for the 2018 Ridge Road Water Main and Street Improvement in the amount of $649,900. Director Descalz.
The village proposes street improvements using bond referendum funds and water main replacement on Ridge Road from Yale to Ardmore. The village will receive 75% funding for construction of the water main from a Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. An engineering consultant assisted by Public Works prepared the plans and specifications. 16 contractors requested bid specifications and 7 submitted bids. Chicagoland Paving Contractors of Lake Zurich, Illinois, submitted the lowest responsible bid in the amount of $649,900. The engineer's estimate for the project was $766,000. Funds for this budgeted expense would be taken from the Street Improvement Fund, bond account number 60.502.03.299, the Water Supply Fund, account number 82.502.02.401, and the Wastewater Fund, account number 83.502.02.401.
Do you have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Case?
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Kazone?
Just a quick question. We're like $116,000 under what the estimate was. Any reason for that? Just because guys are looking for work, or?
Director Descalz.
My best guess, it's early in the season and they're looking for work, but we also combined the sewer, the water main and the street into one project. That may have helped us as well.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Case?
I know things happen, but they come back and hit us with extras. What do we do then?
We have another ordinance, another resolution.
Yeah, another resolution? Yeah. My vote
Well,
will be,
there are some things you just
I
don't
know.
know.
I know,
So
but
they
some
might come
companies
with a-
could come in and low bid them just for that reason.
Well, they have to meet the specifications on the bid, right?
That is correct. Usually you try and anticipate unforeseen items. There's a contingency dollar amount in the contracts typically now as
Okay.
well. So as long as the plans were well-made and, you know, the subsurface investigation was properly done, there should be minimal extras on this job. And we just did a water main in the vicinity nearby last year without too many extras, or I think it was a deduct at the end.
Yeah, it was. Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Wolfus?
Yes. Item 12, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, renewing the village's contract with Environmental Systems Research Institute for Geographic Information Systems, GIS, software, and an amount not to exceed $30,000 over a 3-year period. Director Giskelis.
The village currently uses GIS software from Esri to create, view, and analyze GIS data. This software is the basis for many maps printed by the village, as well as the repository for most of the village's utility data. The current 3-year software maintenance contract expires on March 30th, 2018. Staff recommends renewing the maintenance contract to continue to be able to use the GIS for analysis and map production. Funds in the amount of $10,000 per year have been budgeted in the Informational Technology General Fund, accounts 10-512-01299, the Street Improvement Fund, account 60-502-02299, Water Fund, account 82-502-01299, and Wastewater Fund, account 83-502-01299 for this purchase.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Case?
I'll make it. Motion.
Trustee Ciala, second. Okay, any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
I'd like to know how often do you use this software?
Virtually every day.
Every day through with all 3 departments, or just generally for?
Public Works and Engineering and Community Development are probably the heaviest users. I think Fire and Police come to us for their maps. I don't think they produce their own maps.
Anyone else? Trustee Kazone?
In the contract, it says that if you need to call for support, there's only like one person that's allowed to do that. Is that true, or is that just like in their standard verbiage?
That's their standard verbiage.
Okay, so, but you know, you can call any, like whoever the contact person is, if they're not there, somebody else can call if there's a problem.
Well, usually the problems are technical in nature, and there's probably only 1 or 2 people that know the questions to ask anyway.
Okay.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Okay, Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
President Wolfus?
Yes. Item 13, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a local public agency agreement for the federal participation between the Village of Villa Park and the State of Illinois Department of Transportation for funding for Phase 2 engineering of the St. Charles Road Bridge Improvement Project, authorizing the village's share of $500,000. Director says $50,000. That seemed cheap. Director Giskelis.
The St. Charles Road Bridge over Salt Creek is proposed for major improvements in the next 2 years. The village expects to receive Federal Surface Transportation Program Bridge STP-BR funding to provide 80% funding for engineering and construction of the project. Staff wishes to proceed with Phase 2 design engineering. A proposed local public agency agreement with IDOT would provide $200,000 of the estimated $250,000 needed for Phase 2 design engineering. The village's share of the cost would be $50,000. Funds for this work are budgeted in the Street Improvement Fund non-referendum account 60-502-10292.
Do we have a motion for a resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make the second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Case?
Is Elmhurst on board with us on this, or
Yes,
they are?
they are. We haven't received it in writing yet.
Yes, we have that.
We did?
We have an email,
Oh, we have an
and
email.
a memorandum of understanding is forthcoming.
Yes.
So they'll be splitting the 50,000 with us, or how's that?
IDOT's and Elmhurst share would be picked up during Phase 3 during construction. So we're going to front the money during Phase 1 and Phase 2, and then IDOT's full share and Elmhurst's full share will be paid during Phase 3. So basically, by the time we get to Phase 3, we will already have pretty much paid off our share.
Okay,
Right. So,
as long as they're on board.
it was kind of scary there for a while, so. Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volkes?
Yes. Item 14, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a preliminary engineering service agreement between the Village of Villa Park and V3 Companies, Illinois, LTD, for Phase 2 design engineering service for the St. Charles Road Bridge Improvement Project in amount not to exceed $223,280. Director Viscalis.
The St. Charles Road Bridge over Saw Creek is proposed for major improvements in the next 2 years. The village expects to receive Federal Surface Transportation Program bridge funding to provide 80% funding for engineering and construction of the project. Staff wishes to proceed with Phase 2 design engineering. V3 Companies has submitted a proposal to provide Phase 2 design engineering services for the project at a cost not to exceed $223,280. Funds for this work are budgeted in account number 60-502-10292 in the Street Improvement Fund, non-referendum funds.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Case?
I'll second.
Okay. This may sound like we've done this before, and it's because we have. After we submitted it the first time, if I got this right, Beatus, the state changed, before they looked at it, they changed the rules, so we have to go back through this process again, so, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So any other questions or comments? Trustee Wagner?
In the Phase 2 engineering project schedule, the last item is IDOT letting April 26th of 19. When, if we would have to look into the future, do we think the construction will be completed in 2019, or?
If the letting's in 2019, you're talking a full year from beginning to end of the project would be my guess. So no, I would not expect it to be finished the same year unless you're letting it very, very early in the year. Then there's a possibility you could at least get it open to traffic that year.
Okay.
Does it show on your thing here when they plan on letting it, what month?
It just says, the last item on the schedule says April 26th
So
of
then-
2019.
Okay.
But obviously, that's not the construction schedule, so.
Yeah.
And that's a estimate at best. There are so many variables in delivery of the project. Things will have to go well for us to follow that schedule exactly.
Any other questions?
Will
Trustee
the
Tucker?
effect of the traffic flow be in the same theory as we were when we were repairing that section?
Do you know about the traffic flow? Or just director? Too much to know about the traffic flow?
Traffic flow,
we
will it
had
work
to-
in the same system that we had when they were doing the repair originally to
Well,
make
the traffic is now back to what it originally was. It's full 4
Understand,
lanes.
but when you start the
During the
construction, are we going to have the same situation where they have to make?
Oh, yes, there will be lane
There
closures
will
during
be
construction.
closings,
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
we look forward to some type of pattern changes for when the
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
construction comes up.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Okay, Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volkes?
Yes. Item 15, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing a mosquito abatement agreement for 2018, 2019, and 2020 with Clark Environmental Mosquito Management Incorporated of St. Charles, Illinois, in the amount of $33,000 each year with an annual 1% fee increase. Director Jaskelis.
The Village of Villa Park contracts for mosquito abatement services. Mosquitoes are not only a nuisance, but can be a potential threat to public health by transmitting diseases such as encephalitis and West Nile virus. Clark Environmental Mosquito Management, Inc., of St. Charles, Illinois, is the sole provider of such services currently operating in this region. Staff recommends extending the current contract with Clark Environmental Mosquito Management, Inc. to provide mosquito abatement services for Villa Park in 2018, 2019, and 2020 at a cost of $33,000 the first year with a 1% increase each subsequent year. Funds are budgeted for this expense or proposed in stub year 18 and will be planned in calendar year 19 and calendar year 20 in the Forestry Division account number 10-525-28-286 for this contract.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make the
Do we
motion.
have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second that motion.
Any questions or comments?
One question.
Trustee Ciela?
Does our current contract and will the future contracts address rear yard, storm structures, and easements?
I will ask Deputy Director Salerno to come to the podium.
So backyard catch basins maybe
Correct.
that are in easements and that type of thing?
Correct.
I was going to ask that because I have one in my backyard, so.
The current contract and the future contract does include larvicide in basins. So there's obviously a number of basins throughout the village that they do put basically the pucks into.
So they'll walk the rear easements?
They walk, they also use bicycles to get around as well, to be environmentally friendly. So a number of different means.
Thank you.
Trustee Kazone?
In the contract, it says that they only do two backyard basins that are included.
Yeah.
So whenever they do any more, is that an upcharge on there then?
We have not been upcharged in any of the past years. So
Okay.
if we do see, we do get a monthly report, and based on those monthly reports, then they can take a look and see what areas may be more applicable.
Okay, good, thanks.
Trustee Wagner?
In the contract, and this is standard, I guess, they put the gambusia fish, the mosquito-eating fish, or they eat the larva. Where do they put these in? What bodies of water?
Well, I got Smith, Director Salerno.
Um,
It's not stated in the contract, I don't think.
I don't know exactly. I'll be
Okay.
honest.
And the other question I have is, and I apologize for not asking this in advance, but a lot of the problem comes with standing water, bird baths, maybe tires, scrap tires that
That
fill
is
up with
correct.
water. I'm just wondering if Clark has some sort of public service announcement that we could put on the cable television to alert people that they should eliminate standing water because that's where mosquitoes breed.
An educational factor, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see if they have some sort of public service announcement that we could put on.
I will discuss that with them.
Okay, all right.
It's a good
That's
idea.
all I had.
Good idea. Okay. And this does not include any, like we knew when we were kids, the fogging of the area. This is just the larvicide treatments?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Since 1990, I think we've only had 3 actual sprayings. And last year was either last year that we had a couple of sprayings. And we'll coordinate that with our surrounding communities because they also use Clark as well.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Cilela?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes,
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Volkes?
Yes. Item 16, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the purchase of 3 zero-turn mowers from Russo's Power Equipment in the amount of $24,681.43. Director Jaskelis.
The Parks Department's 3 zero-turn mowers are in need of replacement. Currently, the department uses a late 1990s Snapper walk-behind, a 2000 Textron Bobcat, and a 2008 John Deere mower. These mowers are utilized almost daily between the months of April and October to maintain 130 acres of land within Villa Park. Their age and use has resulted in significant wear and tear on the units. They are in need of constant repair. Staff received 3 responsible bids and recommends purchasing 3 replacement mowers and 4 wheel assembly units from Russo Power Equipment, Inc. of Schiller Park, Illinois, for a total purchase price of $24,681.43. Funds for this purchase have been budgeted in the Equipment Fund Capital Outlay Account number 65-502-02401.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Case?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
What's gonna happen to the outdated equipment?
Looking at the pictures and seeing the stuff?
Not much.
Not much.
I realize that, that's what I wondered. What's gonna happen
We'll let
to it? Is that
Director
junk?
Gola
Are we
tell us.
collecting junk on it?
Well, we are going to clean them up and try to auction them off on Over Enough. See what we can get.
Won't get much.
Worth a shot.
It's worth something, you know.
And if there's no, if we don't get any bites, then we'll scrap them.
Scrap them, okay. Other question for you. The reason, how often do we change the wheel assemblies? knows that
Matt
you-
would have to answer that. I'm not sure offhand. However, we want some in stock. Usually we have equipment in stock in case something breaks and we can repair it right away instead of ordering it and having a mower down.
I just wondered that you're purchasing 4 additional wheel assemblies. How often do we have to change those out? Is that a yearly thing? Is it
You know, they
go
might
from-
hit something. It all depends on what's out there. So we want to keep 2 on, 4 assemblies on hand in case something happens, and then we don't have a mower down. So we can get out and replace that part, and, we wouldn't have a mower down, and then especially in the springtime, we'll be behind in mowing once those mowers go down, if they do.
As a general purpose, so you take 4 of them out at a time? That's what I'm saying. You replace all the wheel assembly. Does it usually go in one system or? Oh,
Please silent all.
I thought it
in the past, do we?
We've replaced everything on those old mowers. They were, hopefully they won't go out as much on these new ones, but we want stock in hand, just in case.
I just wonder. I mean, you put.
It's either buy them now or buy them later.
Oh, I understand. I just wondered how often those assemblies got
I
replaced.
don't
That
know.
you don't
Can't
know
answer that.
offhand. If
I can
it's
get
a
you that
yearly
answer.
type,
I'll ask
okay.
Matt.
I just kind of want to know if, we were replacing assemblies, 2 a year or whatever, because
never
they are
know.
using.
You never know.
As a regular.
When you're on the
I know,
field.
but there has to be some
Too much.
system on too much or not too little. I want it, because they're used on a regular basis, how often are we going to need those assemblies to be replaced on a regular basis? So I just kind of want to know.
I'll find out from Matt and get that to you.
Okay.
I'm not sure. With the older ones, there was a lot of issues.
Well, understand, but the new equipment, I just kind of want to know what the cycle was
I'll find out.
on the thing, on what we'd be replacing them.
Okay, any other questions?
Nope.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay, trustee Stilella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volpes?
Yes. Item 17, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, accepting the safety incentive and safe driver programs in the amount of $10,964. Director Jaskelis.
The Village Safety Committee provides an annual update to the Board of Trustees regarding the village safety incentive programs and safety initiatives. This year, the days lost exceeded the minimum 500-day standard, and therefore no award was issued to village employees. The committee does believe, however, that the programs provide employees with incentives to report injuries and return to work on a timely basis, and recommends continuing the safety incentive program and safe driver program in 2018.
Do you have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Case?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second that motion.
Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Stilella?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
President Volpes?
Yes. Item 18, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing agreements with benefit providers. Director Jaskelis.
The village has insurance coverage for their employees, retirees, and other covered employees that renews on July 1, 2018, including Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, Delta Dental of Illinois, Fort Dearborn Life, Vision Service Plan, and Linden Oaks Behavioral Health. Currently, no rate changes are proposed for the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois or the self-insured Delta Dental plans. The total expense for these services is $2,866,689. The village's contribution equates to $2,056,498. IRS Section 125 flexible benefit and COBRA services would be provided by a third-party administrator at a cost of approximately $3,000. The village also sponsors wellness programs through CHC Wellness and Virgin Pulse, for which the village's share is approximately $37,440. It is recommended that the village board approve these benefit services.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone?
Mr. President, I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Ciala? Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
I have a question. Do we get these as a group, or do we budget them out separately?
Our,
Hello.
Hello there.
Okay, we bring you the entire benefit package when we come to you at the board level, but you've been approving the level of benefits as you've been approving your labor contracts. So part of this is based on what your collective bargaining contracts are, and then we also have non-union benefits as well as union benefits. So what I brought to you is the entire package, which also I do break it out with the retirees, because we do have retirees that we're mandated by state law to offer them continuing coverage. And we also have the library, who is a part, but we also charge them back for any of their cost. So we just put everything into one package and bring it to you guys. So, and I'm Janet Gorman. I'm sorry. I'm the Human Resource Manager, in case you're wondering. So, did that answer your question, Cheryl?
Basically, we do this as a group benefit, when you go out there.
Right, we do it as a group benefit package, and then we get...
package, not individually set.
No, and then we get better rates, because there's almost 213 people that we're getting rates for versus the smaller groups. The smaller the group, the higher the rate. So the more we can package together, the better rates we're usually able to negotiate with the carriers.
Yeah, I didn't know if we did carriers separately and then you try to group them together, or if you go
No.
the route of...
We do market, at least we are self-insured on the dental and vision, so we have a little bit of leeway on that, but we do go out and directly market the medical plans, which is our biggest expense, and we have been doing that every year. There's not a huge number of vendors in the Chicago area anymore, and for us to get a zero increase is pretty good, because last year we actually had a decrease on our health insurance, so we're keeping with that lower dollar amount. So kind of a
because you got
nice
doing several different groups, that's why I wanted, because you've got your, if you were able to do it individually or a group, because you've got the retirees plus the active and whatever.
Yeah, they're all taken into consideration when they do the underwriting.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions for Janet? Thank you, Janet.
Okay.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay, Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Ciallo?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 19, appointments to boards and commissions. The first one, I'd like to have a motion for Kevin Wachtel to the Firefighters Pension Board. Do I have a motion for Kevin?
President Bolfus, I'd like to make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make the second.
Okay. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Okay, Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Ciallo?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. And the next one, I'd like a motion for Tom King to be appointed to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Do I have a motion for Tom King? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Trustee Case?
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Present.
trustee Salella,
Yes.
trustee Case,
Yes.
what did I miss here? Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
and President Boltus.
Yes. Okay. We won't do any swearing in here. We normally do those at the commissions.
Yes, that's
So Clerk Kornecki will come to the Parks and Rec, and you get Kevin whenever you see him, I guess. So,
That's right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your willingness. Public comments on non-agenda items. Hosanna, do we have any public comments on
I
non-agenda?
had no one that signed up
Okay.
at
Does
that before the meeting.
Okay, does anyone else, last chance? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move down to the clerk's report.
Okay, yes, I do have something. I want to announce the senior fair. That's on May 10th, Thursday. It'll be at the VFW over here on St. Charles Road, post 2801. And what the Senior Concerns Commission is looking for are the nominations for Senior of the Year. And they would like to get as many nominations as they can before the end of April. And then the person who is announcing is one, sometimes we've had two that were chosen because of the number of nominations that came in. That's announced at the senior fair. Then it's like kind of a very special time over there. So the nominations need to be for somebody basically in their retirement years that's serving the community in some way, or maybe just the neighborhood. But it has to be a little paragraph written up about this person or people, maybe more than one, and they will be considered by the commission. They will vote on who they would choose. And the paragraph should be sent here to the village, to the Senior Concerns Commission, or just to my attention, to the clerk. And I'll make sure that the commission gets the information. And that's really all they want to do, get those nominations coming in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee report. We'll start to my right with Trustee Ciala.
No reports.
Thank you. Trustee Kazone.
No report tonight.
Trustee Case.
No report.
Trustee Tucker.
No report tonight.
Trustee Wagner.
I just had a couple of things. This was passed along to me. Just want to let young women in the community know that the Villa Park Junior Women's Club is looking for applicants for their scholarship program. And some of the criteria are that current female resident of Villa Park, have a high school senior status, maintain a minimum cumulative grade point average of 3.0 to 4.0, have participated a minimum of one community service activity for a minimum of 2 years, and obtain 2 letters of recommendation excluding family members. And they give out a scholarship of $1,500 and $500 to, and this is among some of the things, the great things that they do in the community. So if you have someone who fits that criteria, submit your application. You can go online to www.vpjwc.org. And also, the Villa Park Junior Women's Club is sponsoring a blood drive with LifeSource. This will take place on April 14th at the library from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And also I'd like to let folks know that the Villa Park Garden Club will be returning to the Community Rec Building. They had to move their meeting, so they meet tomorrow at 7:30 at Community Rec Building. And lastly, and I know this is kind of close to Trustee Salella's heart, I saw the big banner over Ardmore. The Easter Seals is holding their Superhero Hustle, is that right, Dave?
That's correct.
Saturday, May 5th, it's their 15th annual, and it's a 5K race, and it benefits Easter Seals, so a very worthy cause. And that's all I had. Thank you.
And the president's report, the only thing I have first off is Saturday, April 7th is our Coffee with the Board in the other room right on the other side here. So that's Saturday in 2 weeks. And our next board meeting is February 9th at 7 o'clock right here in our county.
April 9th.
April? What day
Right,
did I
April
say?
9th, not February.
February?
Scary.
Are you going back?
Well, you'd miss us, so. Okay. You know, right there. See, I got it written right down. Okay. April 9th. Okay. And with that, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Trustee Wanger?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Oh.
I